Shalom.
Shalom,
Shalom,
shalom.
shalom.
Shalom. Your brothers of Great Millstone, Charlotte, coming at you with another lesson through the spirit, power, and mercy of Yahweh by Shemal Shai. And before we get started with this lesson, as always, we want to give all praises, all honor, and all glory unto Yahweh,
Hawa,
Bahashem,
Bashem,
Shai,
Shai,
Bahashem,
Bashem,
Rakadah.
Rahawadash.
Double honors, as always, to our apostles and our elders of Great Millstone that taught us this truth and rule well. Peace, blessings, and mercy to the house of David. Habayafta Wadada, hopeful elect. Unto you all we say shalom.
Shalom,
Shalom,
shalom.
shalom.
All right, so before we get into, the main topics of what we're going to talk about, we just want to, address the folly that's, been taking a lot of attention off of these events that's been taking place behind the scenes because, as you know, Esau Edom, is going to have the minds of the public, distracted with the nonsense, which we know this whole Drake, Kendrick Lamar, beef, the diss tracks they've been, throwing out, has consumed the news since Friday, pretty much, man, all the way up until last night, and hey, that's all you see our people talking about, man. All right, and the underlying, events that's been happening behind, all this bullshit taking place. All right, Jake is not paying attention to what's going on, man, because there's
Right.
been a lot of things that's going to affect you in your very near future, and you niggas is worried about a goddamn rap beef, man. All right,
Mm-hmm.
so we're gonna open up real quick. This is Ecclesiastes chapter
I
10.
can read for you, priest.
Yeah, got 10 and 6. Bible Shop.
Sure. Could I start at 5?
Go ahead.
Ecclesiastes 10 and 5, it says, there is an evil which I have seen under the sun, as an
Mm-hmm.
error which proceedeth from the ruler.
Mm-hmm.
Folly is set in great dignity, and the rich sit in low place.
Right, and that's what's taking place right now, man. All right, we seeing great evil, in the world taking place right now, man. All right, which these devils are making, their move to bring in this new world order, and yet niggas is worried about bullshit, man. All right, stuff that don't really matter. Okay, because here it is, you got the world on fire, man. All right, you got all these different wars taking place: Ukraine, Russia, Israel, the Palestinians. All right, you got protests all over America, all over the world. Esau's collapsing his dollar more and more as we speak, setting the infrastructure up for the MOTB, and niggas is worried about rappers beefing because it's not even just them two. You had Chris Brown and Quavo. You got just everybody is at odds with each other, man. But at
Mm-hmm.
the end of the day, that none of that matters because we understand that prophecy is taking place. So we can't allow ourselves, to be distracted. It's entertaining. Don't get me wrong. We still in the world, so not saying we don't listen to the shit, but that's not our main focus, man. All right.
Right. I appreciate for you, priest.
Mm-hmm.
It's Sirach 13 and verse 8. Beware that thou be not deceived and brought down in thy jollity.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
that word
Don't be
jollity,
deceived, man.
okay,
Oh,
okay,
it's
go
like,
ahead.
no, go ahead, bro.
Oh, I was just gonna say that word jollity goes into like great mirth, being in a state
Mm-hmm.
of excitement, being a celebratory mindset, right? Because that's what we've been seeing throughout the last 2 weeks, right? People have been celebrating, you know, everybody's attention has been drawn towards folly, man, right? Whether it be
Right.
the NBA playoff stuff that's going on, whether it be the rap shit that's going on, whatever gossip is going on out there in the world, right? But the in the forefront, geopolitically, domestically, right? We see, the censorship about to start taking place. We see World War III tensions start to ramp up, right? We see all these things taking place in prophecy, right? That nobody has their eyes on because they're being drawn away, right? In their mirth.
Exactly. And like I said, bro, this is all distractions, man. All right, because Esau doesn't want the public to really see what's going on because then when people's minds are on what they're supposed to be on, all right, now he has more problems on his hand. All right, so the Brandon Circus is on full display right now. All right, which Rome, when they did the Brandon Circus, it was to distract the people from the fact that Rome was crumbling. All right, and that's what's
Okay.
happening all over again, man. Like you said, you got the NBA playoffs. rap beef. You got all these movies that's coming out, and Esau's tell you in the movie, man. All right, Civil War, as brothers been going into, it literally letting you know the state of the country. And I was listening to the brothers in New Orleans go in. They got another movie coming out called Dystopia, which pretty much in this movie is talks about how the Bible's gonna be banned and the fall of the Bible gonna have to live underground. So look, man, these niggas are telling you exactly what they about to do, and yet, like I said, your mind is everywhere but when it need to be, Jake. All right, real quick,
Exactly.
2 Corinthians 2:11. Lest Satan should get advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices, because we know that this devil, all right, he's orchestrating all this shit, man. These record labels, they told Kendrick Lamar and Drake to fucking beef with each other, man. All right, these NBA playoffs, all right, they that was done to keep people's minds distracted, as just like I said, the British Circus in Rome. That was modern day gladiators, man. All right, and whatever else Drake is distracted with, without really understanding what's going on, like you said, geopolitical, economically, all right, and prophetically, man. Okay, as we're gonna get into. You got it, bro.
Con. May I get a quick precept?
Go ahead.
This is Ecclesiastes chapter 7 and verse 4. It says, "The heart of the wise is in the house of mourning, but the heart of fools is in the house of mirth." Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, you can speak on it, bro.
Yeah, hey, that the house of mourning. I mean, it's like the house of the wise is in the house of mourning, while the house of you stupid niggas, you in the house of feasting, man. Because the foolish people minds are only on things to bring them joy, which is the mirth, man. All right, but we understand that prophecy, great horrible things are about to come on the earth, man. All right, so we're supposed to have our minds set in the things that is going to matter in that day, because example, as I mentioned, 2 Corinthians 2:11. All right, you have this anti-sin bill they just passed and is waiting on it to get all the way up to the Senate so Biden can sign it. That bill, all right, in the public eye, you thinking that is set for these stupid protests, which by the way Esau has orchestrated, all right, because it's the same playbook that he ran during the Vietnam War, all right. But when you really look into what that bill is about, it's really trying to get rid of the Bible, as we've been going into for the last few days, man. All right, so we understand that great persecution is coming for us, man. All right, so we're not occupied in the bullshit that the rest of you people are in, man. All right, we know it's going to be a horrible time on the earth that's coming. All right. So as it says, the heart of the wise is in the house of mourning, man. All right, because we understand that this economy is about to collapse. All right. This devil is about to come down with great wrath, man, and Yahweh Shem Shah is about to bring judgment to all you damn niggas out here set on your leads, man.
That's right.
May I expound on that word for mourning?
Go
Right.
ahead.
When you go into mourning, the word there is Strong's H60. It says mourning. It says in the Strong's definition, it says lamentation. Right now, when you look up lamentation, it says the passionate expression of grief or sorrow, weeping. Right now, when you read in Ezekiel, if I may grab right fast, Ezekiel 9:4, it says, "And Yahweh said unto him, Go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the forehead of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof." Right? So that word for mark, going back to the Hebrew tawa, right, is pretty much a mark of exemption from judgment, man. So
Yep.
being in the house of mourning, the house of lamentation, weeping and crying for the abominations and wickedness done in the midst of the land, it puts you in the right frame of mind. It puts you in the mindset of being repentant, hastening the return of our Lord and Savior, right? Seeking after the kingdom of heaven, mortifying the deeds of the flesh, and putting off this world. Whereas the foolish of our people will continue to be in the house of mirth. They'll continue to wax worse and worse. They'll continue to increase in their wickedness. And we already know the end product of that is going to be the death and destruction by way of thermonuclear destruction, which is the second death.
Right. I want to add to you real quick.
Okay.
You just go into that word mourning. All right. Because the elect will be out here sighing and crying. Right. This is Luke 7:32. It says, I start at 31. It says, and the Lord said, whereunto then shall I liken the men of this generation? And to what are they like? They are like unto children sitting in the marketplace and calling one to another and saying, we have piped unto you, and ye have not danced. We have mourned to you, and ye have not wept. All right? Because here it is. The Lord has set up the prophets to come out here and prophesy, all right, the great, wonders and secrets of the scriptures to our people, and they're not hearkening, man. All right, they're not taking heed to their saving grace, man. Because we're literally telling you on how to you pretty much earn your hedge of protection during Jacob's trouble. But they don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear how salvation is for them. All right. It says that we're mourning to them, and they have not wept, because we're telling them that, look, if you don't repent, the Lord's gonna kill your ass, man. All right. Hey, great death is coming to the world, and if you're not right in the eyes of Yahweh by Shemal Shai, you will be destroyed. But our people, they don't want to hear that, because, like you said, they want to stay in the house of mirth. They want to enjoy their prison sentence here, man. All right. They don't want to hear, all the great lamentation, mournings, and woes of the scriptures, man. Because when they tell you, you killing my vibe, man. I want to hear that. I want to hear that Kendrick. I want to hear that Drake, man.
Right.
I don't want to hear that sad song that you guys are talking about, man.
Right.
But that's going to be to their detriment, man.
Gone. Yep. Because look, we see the stage that the world is going into. Right? It's continuing to intensify, and these are things that you have to be privy to. Quanawal Baba Kushal, could you grab Sirach 5 and 15 right fast? And then we'll segue into these precepts, into this these articles.
It's the book of Sirach, chapter 5 and verse 15. It reads, be not ignorant of anything in a great matter or a small.
Right. And our people are very ignorant, willfully ignorant, as it tells us in 2 Peter's, the 3rd chapter, of these things that are prevalent to what is going to impact them in the near future. Okay. So through the Holy Spirit, we're going to go into these articles, all right, and go into the scriptures to align the things that we see happening in the news in real time to the prophecies. Okay. Quanawal, could you grab Zephaniah 3 and 1? Baba Kushal?
Yeah, because before while you getting that, I just want to bring this real quick, because hey, we've been talking about World War III, starting with the apostles and elders, all right, since they came on the scene, man. All right, and as you are paying attention to the news that we're about to go into, all these events that you see taking place geopolitically is setting the stage up for World War III. But Jake, they don't believe that they don't see this happening in their lifetime. But look, the scriptures are literally speaking life unto you right now, man. All right, so this is Ezekiel chapter 12, verse 24. It says, for there shall be no more any vain vision, nor flattering. Oh, it's like, I'm gonna go up a verse. 22. It says, son of man, what is that proverb that ye have in the land of Israel, saying the days are prolonged and every vision faileth? Because the talk of World War III has been going on since majority of us been, alive, man. All right. And even though it's not taking place right here in the land yet, we understand that these things are setting the stage to bring World War III to a worldwide stage, man. All right. But Jake thinks that I ain't got to worry about that right now, man. They've been talking about, going to war with Russia forever. This is not going to happen in my lifetime. All right. It says, tell them, therefore, thus said the Lord Yahweh Shemal Shah, I will make this proverb to cease, and they shall no more use it as a proverb in Israel, but say unto them, the days are at hand, and the effect of every vision. For there shall be no more any vain vision nor flattering divination within the house of Israel. So the point being that the Lord is going to make this shit happen, and you're seeing it shaping up right now, man. All right, as we're about to get into.
That's right.
This is Zephaniah chapter 3 and verse 1. Woe to her that is filthy and polluted, to the oppressing city. She obeyed not the voice. She received not correction. She trusted not in the Lord. She drew not near to her power.
Right. Now, this applies to Jake, but this also can apply to Esau in these times, man. Right. Esau has been an oppressive city, Babylon the Great, America. Okay, and what he has enforced throughout this world has been a byproduct of what? Wickedness and an oppressive rulership.
Right.
Keep reading.
Okay. Verse 3. Her princes within her are roaring lions. Her judges are evening wolves. They gnaw not the bones to the marrow.
Mm-hmm.
Her prophets are light and treacherous persons. Her priests have polluted the sanctuary. They have done violence to the law.
Yep. Right. So the governance of this system has completely done away with the order, the instructions that Yahweh Ba'ashem Shai has established on how the earth was to be governed. Right. Priest Baba Kushah, could you grab Ezekiel 24, if I'm not mistaken? Or matter of fact, let me see here. I misspoke. Isaiah 24. Salaki, I misspoke.
Con. Where do you want to start at?
You could get straight to the point in verse 5.
All right. As Isaiah 24:5, it says, "The earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant."
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact,
Right.
we go to verse 4 because that's going into what you're talking about anyway.
Come.
Isaiah 24:4, it says, "The earth mourneth and fadeth away, the world languisheth and fadeth away, the haughty people of the earth do languish."
Right. And do we not see that happening now? Right. Do we not see the earth losing its strength? Right. Do we not see the people of the earth losing their strength, losing their minds? Right. Under this governance. Right.
Mm,
Because of how they're conducting themselves in their power seat.
right. Because just to add to you, because like you said, that word language, it means to fall, to fail in strength, exhibit signs of approaching death. And that's
Man.
exactly what is going on, man. Under the rule of these 48ers, man. All right. And
Yep.
as we seeing, they're putting all these laws in place to protect them from being caught up. But what we seeing, as you know, you got the articles on the screen. This man is literally bringing death in the world. He's literally destroying everybody, man. All right. Hey, those Palestinians over there getting their ass kicked, millions are dying, bro. He's committing the genocide over there, and if you call him out, you're anti-sim. All right, and then the whole anti-sim BS is just nothing more than a fucking covering so that they won't get caught out, man. But under
Mhm.
his rule, everything's dying, man. The world's dying. Hey, he's destroying everything, man. All right, so verse 5 says, "The earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof," as we just said, "because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant."
Mm-hmm. Right. So this is what we're seeing is a byproduct of that disobedience, right?
Right.
As we had just read in Zephaniah, the third chapter, right? How they have done violence to the law. When you transgress and disobey the ordinances and the statutes and commandments of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, this is what happens in the earth. Now we understand the heathen were not given the position to understand how to operate with that steed, right? So we automatically know by default what was going to be the end result.
Mhm.
But furthermore, this shows the importance of Jake being in that seat of rulership, man. Okay. And serving in how they're supposed to, walking in the truth, uplifting the righteous standard, the order. You keep going back to that in Zephaniah quite a while.
Yeah, I want to add to you as well because we understand that this devil was put in place to do just that, man. All
Yep.
right,
Mhm.
because when you read in the book of Job 21, it speaks about how this devil despises to know the ways of the Lord, man. So everything the Lord pretty much, sanctioned as being righteous, this man purposely goes about it the opposite way because he is, the harbinger of death. All right, he
Mhm.
is single handedly bringing the world, to ruin. All right, because
Exactly.
he's the devil, and there's no other way to say that than that, man. And everybody's starting to realize that,
Mhm.
Yep.
which is
Okay.
why he's passing laws to defend himself, man.
Exactly. This is Zephaniah chapter 3 and verse 5. The just Lord is in the midst thereof. He will not do iniquity. Every morning every morning doth he bring his judgment to light. He faileth not, but the unjust know no shame.
Right. These heathen, these Edomites, they know no shame, man. Right. Jake, they know no shame, man. You know, and here it is. The Lord is bringing out his judgment, right? And he's not just doing this just to do it. No, the judgments of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai are tied to rebellion. You sidestep, you get judged. You walk outside of how he's set for you to maneuver, you're gonna get judged. So what we're seeing play out in real time is again the byproduct of disobedience in the earth. All
Mm-hmm.
this judgment that's getting poured out, man. Because why? As it tells us in Psalms 119. Let me grab that right quick. Psalms 119 and verse 126. It says, "It is time for thee, Yahweh, to work, for they have made void thy law."
Mm-hmm.
So the judgments that we're seeing come to pass is because these people have made void the law, the order of how you're supposed to maneuver, to not face the judgments of the Lord. Okay? There's a lack of fear in the earth. There's a lack of understanding of how to maneuver in the earth. And under this man's rulership, that isn't going to change. He's going to continue to do worse and worse. And as it tells us in Matthew 24 and 22, that the days had to be shortened for the elect's sake, or no flesh would be saved. That's how severe this man is moving through the world, man.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
You keep reading down to verse 8.
God. Zephaniah chapter 3 and verse 7. I said, surely thou wilt fear me, thou would receive instruction,
Mm-hmm.
so their dwelling should not be cut off.
Right.
How?
And this is speaking to Jake, right?
Mm-hmm.
We understand that when you come into the fear of the Lord is the beginning of what? Wisdom. You understand how to maneuver. You understand things to do and what things not to do. You
Right.
understand that death and life is presented unto you. And as our forefather Moses has said unto us, choose life. Keep reading.
Continuing on. So, verse 7. I said, surely thou wilt fear me, thou wilt receive instruction, so their dwelling
Did
should
you
not be
skip
cut.
verse 6?
Oh, Salat.
There you go.
Verse 6. Zephaniah 3 and 6. I have cut off the nations, their towers are desolate. I made their streets waste, that none passeth by. Their cities are destroyed, so that there is no man, that there is none inhabitant.
Mm-hmm. Right. And this is the judgment that the Lord is about to prepare to rain out, man. Okay. The Lord is about to make massive judgments in droves on a lot of these. In the heathen, they're gonna get theirs. But you Israelites that are disobedient and stiff-necked, the Lord is gonna prepare to mark a lot of niggas and wipe them out.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You keep reading.
Okay. Verse 7. I said, surely thou wilt fear me, thou wilt receive instruction, so the dwelling should not be cut off. Howsoever I punished them, but they rose early and corrupted all their doings.
Mm-hmm. Right.
If
So
I can
they
read this in the
continue.
oh, sorry.
Oh yeah, go ahead and read it in NLT.
I was going to get the commentary
Okay, go.
because it's adding to the point that you were making. It says for verse 5 through 7, this made the unrighteousness of his people even more criminal and tragic. The Most High had been doing nothing but righteousness to them, yet they responded with sin. Eventually, they put themselves on the wrong side of the Most High's righteousness and face his justice. The Most High brought his justice to the nations around Judah, and it should have warned Judah what would happen if they rejected the Most High. Instead of learning from the surrounding nations, they decided themselves, but they dedicated themselves to ungodliness all the more.
Mm-hmm. Right. So Jake is doubling down on wickedness. So the Lord gonna double down on his judgments.
That's
Mm-hmm.
right.
And as priests have made mention of, right, we see these things that are happening in the earth, and it's setting the stage for things to get worse. This devil is not gonna stop his reign of terror. He's gonna continue on because that's what he was programmed to do. and you're going to get caught in the midst with no protection. You can read down to verse 8.
Okay. Zephaniah 3 and verse 8. Therefore wait ye upon me, saith the Lord, until the day that I rise up to the prey.
Right. And this is what a lot of our people, they don't do. Right. They don't wait for Yahweh Shem Shai because they do not know Yahweh Shem Shai. They have no faith in Yahweh Shem Shai. Okay. The Lord is who is going to deliver us. Okay. You see the situation in the world right now, the geopolitics, right? You see the tension that's going on, civil unrest. You had an article come out that 40% of Americans believe that civil war is going to come about in the next 5 years. Who's going to help you in those times? Yahweh Shem Shai. If you repent, Lord willing, he be there to protect you.
Right.
But Jake got to start from, they not even starting at the first attempt, which is repentance, man.
Right. Because you still got Jake thinking that, the government, well, you got Jake thinking, I say, because the rest of the world sees the government is pretty much turned on him. So these people, as they see everything pretty much headed towards hell. So now you're going to have, Jake stocking up, food, guns, whatever. But off of what you said, this is Psalms 118 and 9. It is better to trust in the Lord than to put confidence in princes. Because Yahweh Shem Yahushua is going to be the only way you're going to be protected, all right, when all hell breaks loose, man. Because as we can tell you, this government is not going to help you. They don't care about you people, man. As you've been seeing, they've been eliminating you little by little every day, man. All right, the middle class, is done. Okay, they're already about to starve you out with the famine. All right, they've been trying to slowly kill you off with the juice and whatever else they're putting out here. So it would make sense for you just to turn back unto the Lord. But our people are stiff necked and hard hearted though, man.
Yep.
That's it.
You keep reading
Okay.
the next one, Waf.
Okay. Continuing on. Therefore wait ye upon me, saith the Lord, until the day that I rise up to pray. For my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms, to pour upon them mine indignation, even all my fierce anger, for all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy.
Right. So we're seeing the Lord's determination to gather the nations take place right now. As you're seeing, there is a mass attention being shifted into what region of the earth? The Middle East, where you're going to have take place Yahweh Shabbat, Yahweh's judgment, okay?
That's right.
Which is where you're going to see the catalyst of World War III, okay? This is tied into the Lord's judgment, World War III, as it tells us in Revelation. All right, let me grab that right quick. This is Revelation chapter 11 and verse 14. Straight to the point, it says, the second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. So the second woe, speaking of the Second World War, has already come to pass, right? And it says, behold, the third woe cometh quickly, the third war, the third world war, which is going to be the last world war.
Because
And as
that's
we,
been prophesied, bro. Hey,
exactly.
you got what's my name? What's my man name? The Albert Pike plan.
Mm-hmm.
Who pretty much had said that look, there's going to be 3 world wars, and in that last world war, what were they going to do? They was going to pretty much put the make all the focus on the quote unquote Muslims, and it's not the Palestinians are majority of them Muslims, Islam, and they're gonna try to throw Israel in there with the Israelites in there with that as well. All right, so
Right.
all this, what they're doing to them Palestinians is just setting the stage up, man. If I can add to you real quick,
God.
Revelation 8 and 13, and I beheld and heard an angel flying through the midst of heaven, saying with a loud voice, "Woe, woe, woe to the inhabitants of the earth by reason of the other voices of the trumpet of the 3 angels which are yet to sound." And as you just went into, okay, we're on that third woe because the first woe, That was World War One. The second woe was World War Two, and this third woe, which is World War Three, it says it's coming quickly. All right. So we're in the end stages of prophecy, man. All right. So Jake, you have to be knowing exactly what's taking. Nothing in the world is going on by coincidence, man. Everything
Right.
it has a chain reaction, which all leads to the prophetic endings that we always speak of, man. Okay.
Yep. So I'll go ahead and read into this article here. This is posted from Politico today, May 6th, 2024. It says, and we're gonna codify reading through
Yeah.
this shit. This nigga Amalek is fucking. What'd you say, priest? What happened? The words don't hurt my feelings.
Yeah, yeah. Sticks and
Right.
stones, right?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
this nigga, he getting hit with all the sticks, all the stones. He's hurting. But it says 48ers approve Rafah military op and started striking Hamas targets. The decision by 48ers war cabinet came hours after Hamas agreed to a ceasefire that 48ers hadn't previously accepted. Now, let's just focus on this right here. A war cabinet, right? If these people truly are the people in the land, could a brother grab Joel 3 and 9? Or matter of fact, Salakia. Yeah, Joel 3 and 9 is good. Joel 3 and 9, we can do that.
Okay. So Joel chapter 3 and verse 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them
Mhm.
come.
Right. This is speaking of the wars, right? The third world war that we see that's being brewed in the earth, right? The spirit of war is increasing, man.
Mhm.
Keep reading.
Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak
Mhm.
say, I am strong.
Right. Let the weak say, "I am strong." Let these weaker nations, right, that were once seen as irrelevant, right, insignificant, are now boasting themselves to have nuclear capabilities. They're now boasting themselves to be in alliance with one another to stand against the power structure that exists in the world today that's being forwarded by Amalek and the rest of the household of Edom.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Because what they've done through the earth is nothing but, as it tells us in John 10 and 10, kill, steal, and destroy.
That's right.
God. Hey, when you read in the NLT, it says, train even your weaklings to be warriors.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So what we're seeing is these other nations, their men of war have been trained up from child age, right, to be prepared for these battles, man. Right, you
Yep.
got little kids out there, shooting guns and launching rockets, man. Right,
Right.
but in the meantime, these little niggas out here is TikTok dance specialists, you know. So that's why you see the tides are going to shift severely once the battles really start kicking off, man. And we can even see that, with the Russia Ukraine situation, because
Yeah,
those
man.
Russians were extremely prepared, and that's why you saw the devastating numbers of Ukrainians get taken out the way they did, man. Because those
Mhm.
men have been bred, from a young age to be prepared for war.
That's
Yep.
right. Real quick, I just want to. I looked up that definition of what a war cabinet was. This is off of Wikipedia. It says a war cabinet is a committee formed by a government in a time of war to efficiently and effectively conduct that war. It is usually a subset of the full executive cabinet of ministers, although it is quite common for a war cabinet to have senior military officers and opposition politicians as members. So, as it as it said, a war cabinet is a committee formed by government in a time of war to efficiently and effectively conduct that war, and that's all that Israel is doing, man. Is declaring war on those Palestinians to pretty much genocide them out of that land, so they can pretty much take that whole land to themselves, man.
Right.
And I was breaking down, what that war cabinet is for the 48ers. So this it says during the 2023 Israel Hamas war, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu announced a war cabinet of the following composition: three full members. Prime Minister Benjamin not a Jew, Minister of Defense Uave Gallant, and Minister without portfolio and former Chief of the General Staff Benny Gantz, and the two observers, Minister of Strategic Affairs Ron Dermer, and Minister without portfolio and former Chief of General Staff Gadi Eisenkopf. So bringing all this out, these devils are all coming to the conclusion that look, we're just gonna just kill these niggas, man. Well, murder is the correct word. We're gonna just murder all these Palestinians because in our eyes we feel like we're justified to take this land because like we go into this is nothing more than modernized colonialism, man. You know, so they're trying to get that land to themselves because they want the whole Holy Land to themselves, man. All right.
Right.
So you came to an agreement when this whole Hamas Israel war started that you was going to allow these damn Palestinians safe passage and what's the word solitary and Rafah. So you allowed them to go over there, and on the way as they're traveling, you're bombing them while they're traveling. You're shooting, you're sniping them off, and now you just came to the conclusion that look, even though we granted them safe passage to Rafah, now we're just gonna go over there and just kill them. So there's no pleasing this man. You know, he has a over sensationalized bloodlust, man. Okay, this man loves death, man.
That's right. Quanawaf, you can read on to verse 11 and we'll get back to the article.
Okay. This Joel chapter 3 and verse 11. It reads, "Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathens, and gather yourselves together round about thither. Cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord."
Right, right. So it's going to be all out war, man.
Mhm.
Okay. Now, the point, with this 48 war cabinet, this shows proof that these are not the holy people. Because if they were, they would align with what the scriptures say of them inhabiting their lands, right? That there would be no war. That in turn, they would beat their swords into pruning hooks. But here we're seeing it's going from pruning hooks to swords. Okay.
Yeah, I want to read this real quick. Could you read that highlighted part? What you got right there?
The war cabinet.
Yeah.
It says the decision by 48ers war cabinet came hours after Hamas agreed to a ceasefire that 48ers hadn't previously accepted.
So Hamas side agreed to a ceasefire, which means it's a temporary surrender. So they said they're not going to fight back, and yet these small hatters just like they still want to go and fight, man. So that right there is proof that they can't be the holy people, man. Because what
Mhm.
when the Lord tell us to go fight, anybody first and foremost, but then if this nation is declaring that they're not going to fight back, why are you still, applying pressure to them to, kill them? Real quick, Isaiah 33:1. Woe to thee that spoilest, and thou was not spoiled, and dealest treacherously, and they dealest not treacherously with thee. When thou shalt cease to spoil, thou shalt be spoiled, and when thou shalt make an end to deal treacherously, they shall deal treacherously with thee. And this is, setting the stage up for these nations to hate these small hats, man. As recorded earlier, all right, this is the least of the flock about to draw, them out, all right, because these events of all these genocide that they're doing to these Palestinians is going to eventually draw America into the fold, which is going to, bring World War III to the forefront, man.
Yep.
That's right.
Jumping back to this article, it says 48ers launched a volley of strikes in the Gazan city of Rafah and said it would continue the military ops there, even as the Biden admin has openly warned against the launch of any large-scale mission in the city without civilian protections.
See,
Brother
they
Grab.
ain't doing nothing against them. All right, like I said, they're putting down their arms, and yet
Mhm.
they're still full fledged attacking them, man.
Yep. Get a brother grab Jeremiah 49 and 20 right quick.
I'm right here.
Come.
Jeremiah 49:20. Therefore, hear the counsel of the Lord that he have taken against Edom,
Mhm.
and his purpose that he have purpose against the inhabitants of Teman.
Right. Now, when you go into modern day Teman is Babylon the Great.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You keep reading.
Sure, the least of the flock shall draw them out.
Right? Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Now, could you pull up the word for least, Baba Kusha?
God, let me go to the blue letter. All right, so you said the word least.
Mm-hmm.
All right, this is least. This is H6810. It says little, insignificant, young, mean, young, younger, youngest.
Right, youngest, right? So the 48ers are considered to be the youngest that came out of the British colonialism period, right? So during this time, with the 48ers establishing themselves in that area, right, they've done what? Nothing but continual beef and war with those Ishmaelites over there. Okay.
Facts.
So now this has escalated to the point where it says what? A large scale mission, right? And you have Teeman, Babylon the Great America, their administration openly warning against this,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because they understand warfare very well.
Mm-hmm.
And they're advising, do not do this shit. But the spirit is upon these people, the 48ers, to carry out this will of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai to fulfill his purpose. Off, could you grab Proverbs 21 and 1?
Mhm.
Yeah, because I wanted to add to you because when they first got over there to that land, all right, when Britain pretty much, set them up to take that there with the Balfour Declaration, they had, agreed to split the land between them and those Arabs, the Palestinians or whatever. And they had their section and the Palestinians had their section. And just over time, you started seeing the 48ers begin to push the boundaries of how far that their territory stretched. And it's continually moving, the line to where the Palestinians are losing more and more land to where we're at a point in time now to where they're trying to take that whole land to themselves now. So that,
Mhm.
that agreement that they had, it was broken. All right. And it's continually being broken to where at the point now is they're just, it's an outright genocide on them people, man. You know,
That's right.
you can't trust this man.
Oh,
Exactly. This is Proverbs chapter 21 and verse 1. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will.
Yep.
right. So we see the ramifications that are going to come about this.
Mm-hmm.
It's evident. It's not even something that you got to be a rocket scientist to understand the global stage and what's going to happen as they continue to push these people out, right? As Priest had mentioned, right? They're deleting these people in droves, and it's equated to a modern genocide, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Modern day imperialism, colonialism.
Yep.
Okay. So as we continue to see Esau's natures be made manifest to the world, the Lord has put the spirit on these leaders to do this. Because what sense is it, man? What sense is it really? It's not sensible,
No.
but it's all for the forwarding of the Lord's purpose to cause what? To set off war.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Because, like you said, he's got to the point to where not a Jew literally said he doesn't care about killing civilians.
Right.
So it went from you had that bogus ass invasion, which was set up by the way, which
Mhm.
caused all this shit to where they just don't give a fuck who they blow up, man. You got other Israelis being killed in the midst of this fight, man. These are supposed to be their own people, and they're killing them, man. So it
Right.
shows you on how unjust this man is as a ruler, which we know when you go over there, the not a Jew, he's on trial for war crimes, man. They're over there protesting to get this man out of office. So this is how we know it. Everything is set up to make this man the most hated person on the planet. All right. I
Mhm.
got something real quick for you. This is Obadiah 1 and 2. It says, "Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen; thou art greatly despised." And what this is doing is putting all eyes on these small hats because what you're seeing taking place with all them Palestinians being killed, you're having all the Muslims all over the world, putting aside their differences, because there's different sects in the Muslims, all right, but they're all still Muslim at the end of the day. They all come together to fight against them, which is what the whole thing of the Alba Pipe plan was about. The small hats versus the Muslims, all right, Islam or whatever. So you're having even NATO's allies that are, like Muslims, such as Turkey, siding with the Palestinians because they're
Mm-hmm.
seeing the cruel nature of what these small hats are doing to the people. You know, so Israel is making it to where the enemy of my enemy is my friend. All right, everybody's going to team up to come against this damn devil, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Which is, hey, that's why when Iran did their attack, America pretty much went to Israel and said, "Please don't, because we don't want to get we don't want to get involved in this, man." Because they know
Yes.
if
Yeah.
if Israel attacked Iran with matching their force, right? Iran could easily have just wiped them off the map, man. And if Iran attacked back, then the United States would have had to get involved, you know?
Mhm.
So these things are being held back ultimately through prophecy, man, right?
Right.
Because so the other things have to take place before that, but this is just we're seeing that crescendo start to be built up, man.
Right. And then, like you said, if Iran gets put in, and then Iran gets attacked, that's going to bring America in for Israel, and then you got Russia being brought in for Iran. So
Exactly.
that's World War III, and this is
Right.
why both sides are kind of dragging their feet, because they both really don't want to get things popping, because they already know the ramifications of thermonuclear war is going to pretty much throw the world into disarray, man. Like you said, Albert Einstein made that mention.
Mm-hmm.
World War III is going to be fought with nuclear missiles, and World War IV is going to be fought with sticks and stones, because it's going to knock everything back to the Stone Age, man. All right,
Mm-hmm.
so there's no winners in nuclear war, man. So the Lord is purposely allowing these devils to do this, all right, to stoke the flames of World War III, but things aren't really going to pop until that mark of the beast is implemented worldwide first, man.
Con.
That's right.
Precept. This is Habakkuk. Salakia. Habakkuk chapter 2, straight to the point. 2 and 3, it says, "For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry." So the vision, when you think about vision, is you have a set as far as what you're seeing,
Yeah.
right? You have to have everything come to fruition in this correct order,
Mm-hmm.
right? So the vision of World War III, before that is the vision of the implantable device, the MOTB, the Karagma, that brothers are speaking of, man. All right. So as we see these things happening, it's something that we're to continue to pray and watch, right? Yahweh Shai warned of that as well, right? If I may grab right quick.
Mm-hmm.
Matthew chapter 24 and verse 6. It says, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. Okay, so what we're seeing is what? The gradualism to ensue and stoke the flames of war, to stoke the flames for these things to intensify, to reach its fruition, but things have to fall into its proper order.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's our job as being the watchman to be able to look on these things and report it. Like I
Yep.
want to add to you, Mark 13:33. Take ye heed, watch and pray, for ye know not when the time is.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we don't know the exact date and time of when the mark of the beast is going to be implemented, or when World War III is going to officially kick off. Jacob's trouble, officially coming in. But we understand that all these different things that we're talking about, they're all building blocks leading up into that. So we have to
Yep.
prepare ourselves, for that day, because it can come at any time. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why we start the lesson out of not being distracted by the mirth, that's being shoved down everybody's throat, because we know that's a means to keep your mind off of what's really important, man.
Gone.
Exactly.
Well, if you have some,
I was just gonna make mention, because we're talking about how all these nations are gearing up for war, and it was just brought out that as we talk about Russia, we talk about the U.S., and then you bring China into the mix. It was just released not a few days ago that their military budget, which was reported to be like $2 billion, is actually $700 billion, right?
Yeah,
So they're gearing up, to be able to fight against the West as well, man.
Yep.
Right? So we see all these nations, as we read, them beating their plowshares and the spears, right? We're seeing them all gearing up for the impending war, man.
that's right.
Con. We'll go ahead and go into the other article. Brothers can, look into that. This is on the screen for a minute, so we'll go ahead and get Quanawat's article right quick. Bear with me one moment. Uh, this is from the Israeli, the Times of 48ers. Hamas claims to accept ceasefire hostage deal. 48ers, this isn't what we agreed to, right? So this devil, right, having that forked tongue, right, even in the midst of causing, lives to be lost, he's gun ho on just continuing to use that sword, man. It says Hamas on Monday evening claimed to accept what is said was an Egyptian and Qatari ceasefire and hostage release proposal, but 48er officials said the Hamas terms did not meet 48er essential requirements. But mind you, the response to what had just occurred that we've been seeing for months now was in response to hostages.
Right.
So now they're like, nah, that ain't what we about now. Could a brother grab Psalms 140?
Start from the top.
Yeah, verse 1 through 2.
This is Psalms 140 and 1. Deliver me, O Lord, from the evil man.
Mm-hmm.
Preserve me from the violent man, which imagine mischiefs in their heart. Continually are they gathered together for war.
Right. Continually are they gathered together for war. This is Esau, man. If not where, then who is he? If this ain't the wicked, then who is it? Because
Right.
what is this man? He is a warmonger,
Yep.
right? The wicked, the Edomites, man. This is all that they
Hey,
do.
if you look at the top of that article, it says Israel at war, day 214. You know, but they've actually not been, plotting against, whether it's Iran, whether it's Palestine. They're always at war with somebody, man.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
why it said what it said. It said that they're gathered together for war continually, man.
Yep. Yep. I got something for you because that word you mentioned, Tazo, I wanted to read that real quick. Warmonger. This is on the Common Dictionary. It says a person who encourages or advocates aggression towards other countries or groups, and that's what this nigga's doing. Because
Hmm.
not only is he doing that to the those Palestinians, he's doing that against the average American. He's doing that against us, the Israelites. He's doing that
Hmm.
against the whole world. This man's going to war with the whole world ultimately, man. All right, because
Exactly.
that's all
Hey,
Esau knows how to do is fucking go to war, man.
right. It was an article that came out during that Hamas attack, right? Or that psyop rather. And now that you pretty much said the whole world is anti-sim, so just land back and off your point. That's the mindset they have right now, man. It's us against the world as far as they're concerned.
Yep.
This thing got to
Exactly.
be stopped, man.
Hmm.
Man. This is why we tell our people, man, repent and believe in the gospel.
Facts. One more for you. Psalms 55 and 21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war
Mhm.
was in his heart.
Right.
His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords.
Right. Because now, in the times past, Esau has always been able to use that victim approach. You know, oh, I'm just doing this because I'm a poor little man. I have no help. I have to defend myself. But now it's seen, no, you're avidly going about pursuing blood.
Facts.
You have a bloodlust,
Yep.
and it's being shown forth in your actions, Esau. See, you could only say but so much for a while before it can really be made manifest. And we're in those times of this truth being made manifest of who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That
Mm-hmm.
that your heart is full of war, man.
Yeah.
That
You
you have
can't.
no good intent.
You can't trust
You
this nigga.
exactly. You
Everything that
turn.
he's. Sorry. Go
Go
ahead.
ahead, brother. Go ahead.
I was gonna say every deal that he's made with all these countries, he's broken every deal, and
Mm-hmm.
all these nations. This is why they're going against the small hats, man, and really against Esau as a whole, because they see that they can't trust this man. All right, and once they made that deal, they see that nothing good benefited came from that, man. You know, because like I
Exactly.
said, if they don't go to what he says to do, he will literally go and destroy their country. All right, he'll kill the leader and place a puppet leader in, man. So he's not to be trusted because, like you said, is all his end goal is always war. He's gonna find some way to bring instability in. All right, to feed his agenda, man.
Exactly.
Yep.
Quick precept. It's Revelation chapter 6 and verse 4. And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat
Yep,
thereon to take peace from the earth,
yep,
and that they should kill one another. And there was given unto him a great sword. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what we're seeing right now. I'm gonna grab that word for peace. You know, because as the brothers are going into, man, they bring death and destruction everywhere they go, man. Right, their whole mo is to spread war. You know, various means of death, really, man. Because the way their philosophies bring death, right? The diets that they allow people to take part in bring death, and then ultimately the sword, man.
that's right.
But it says here, uh, Strong's G 15:15. It says a state of national tranquility. Right? There's no tranquility on the earth right now, man. It says exemption from the rage and havoc of war. So nobody is exempt from war with this man in the power seat, man.
Nope.
Everyone is everyone's on the hit list, right? It says security, safety, prosperity, uh, because peace and harmony make and keep things safe and prosperous. So nobody's prospering because there's no harmony, there's no peace, there's no safety, right? There's no security. There's death around every corner when it comes to this, man.
Yep. Right. And the Lord is preparing to set the okie doke for Esau, man.
Hmm.
Right. Because you pursue, because how does the scripture go? Bear with me one moment.
Talking
Because
about Ezekiel 35.
Con. Yep.
I
The
got
one.
you.
Pull up your shirt there. Yeah.
Ezekiel 35, and I started at verse 1. It says, "Moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir, and prophesy against it."
Right. And that's what we're doing, man. We're saying before the things that is about to take place against the household of Esau, Edom, the judgments that they're about to face. It ain't nothing that you can do against this, Jake. Pardon me, I said Jake, Esau.
Right.
Slip of
Right.
the tongue. So what you need to do is just accept what's about to happen,
Mm-hmm.
because we know
Hmm.
that you're not going to change. The Lord has said in Habakkuk 2 and 4 that the spirit that is within him is not upright. You're
Yep.
going to keep playing out your role, like as Quanawaf had read in Revelation 6 and 4. You're going to keep playing with that sword, but there's a cost at that. See,
Hmm.
you haven't taken into the account of that blessing and what's going to be the back burner of that blessing.
Yeah.
Right.
Because what did Yahweh Shah tell Peter? All right. They that live by the sword shall die by the sword. That
Exactly.
applies to Esau,
Yep.
man, too. All
Yep.
right.
Hmm. Right.
Verse 3. It says, "And say unto it, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh Bashem Shah, Behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee, and I will stretch out my hand against thee, and will make thee most desolate.
Mm-hmm.
I will lay thy city waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, and the time that their iniquity had an end."
Right. So Esau having that perpetual hatred going all the way back to his forefather Esau. and our forefather Jacob. That hatred has always been there in his heart, and he's always lashed out against our people, right? So in turn, what is he doing by lashing out against the apple of the apple of the Lord's eye?
Mm-hmm.
You're in turn lashing out against the Heavenly Father and the only begotten Son, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua,
Facts.
touching his woman, because the
Yep.
woman is an extension of the man.
Yep.
Right.
Hey, because the scriptures tell you, you touch the apple of the Most High's eye, man. All right.
Yeah. What
It
does it say? They
says,
forwarded our affliction.
yep.
You know,
Yep.
because like it said, what it say in that it said their iniquity had an end in the time that their iniquity had an end. So, right, when the Lord had designed the time for us to be, out of that punishment, Israel or not Israel, Esau was continuing to beat us,
Right. RKOs, all type of
right.
shit.
The people's elbow.
Fucking Jake. To this day, you look at Jake now, it's like, damn. You see Jake trying to come back to their power. What are you doing to Jake? You trying to demonize them. You trying to persecute them.
Mm-hmm.
You don't care about Jake's, pursuit of trying to live a peaceful life and serve
Right.
their power.
Yeah, that's a
Purposely.
threat to him.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
It says, therefore, as I live, save the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. See if thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee.
Right. So, Abe, Esau, Edom, right? Starting first and foremost with Babylon the Great America. Hey, prepare for your judgment, man.
That's
All
right.
right. And the Lord has it to where the house of Esau is about to get chopped up. All right. It's about to be mass division, as we already see that division brewing in the earth, right? Amongst the beast system, the EU, NATO, and America, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's going to continue to intensify as we start to enter into this time period of order ab chaos. Okay. So we have this article here from the Washington Post, and if a brother could hold Ezekiel 38, and we'll start at bear with me one moment. Ezekiel 38, and let's start at 1. But it says here under Putin.
Can I read this real quick? It's a lot.
Come on, go ahead.
Just read this in the NLT. Ezekiel 35:5. It says, your eternal hatred for the people of Israel led you to butcher them when they were helpless, when I had already punished them for all their sins. As surely as I live, says the sovereign Lord, since since you've shown no distaste for blood, I will give you a bloodbath of your own. Your turn has come.
Mm.
So that's what we're seeing. The tide is turning, the tables are turning, right? Since he's shown, right, he has a taste for blood, as we've been going into, right? He loves death, and he seeks it out every chance he can, right? The Lord is going to give him his own bloodbath, man, right? And he's going to have his own special judgment, man.
Yep. Going into this article titled Under Putin, a militarized new Russia rises to challenge America and the West. So pretty much the beast system, ultimately, right? It says, as Vladimir Putin persists in his bloody campaign to conquer Ukraine, the Russian leader is directly and equally momentous transformation at home, re-engineering his country into a regressive, militarized society that views the West as its mortal enemy. And who's
Mm-hmm.
putting that spirit in these people, man?
Mm-hmm.
And how about Shemal Shai,
That's right.
right? Stoking that flame, that war energy, right? As we're gonna get into. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and jump into Ezekiel. Right,
All right.
we'll read to verse 4.
Ezekiel 38:1. And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and prophesy against him.
Right, so we know Gog and Magog is speaking of Russia.
Mm-hmm. And say, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal.
Right, so even at the end of the day, right, as we're gonna read the spirit that the Lord is gonna put upon Gog and Magog to carry out, it's it's not as though the Lord is for these people, right? The Lord is just utilizing the Russians to carry out His will, His purpose.
Mm-hmm.
You keep reading.
And I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and will bring thee forth in all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords.
Right. So at the latter, when it goes into thine army and it goes into the horses, the buckler, the armor, the company, the shields, that's talking about the technology that Russia possesses, right? But at the first part of that fourth verse, when it talks about putting the hooks into thy jaw, if you imagine you get behind an animal and you put hooks into the animal's jaw, you got to pull it up, right? And that's what's happening to this animal, to this bear, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is getting those hooks put back into him. It's reviving that old USSR spirit, all right, of saying what? It's mortal enemy, okay? Continuing on in this article, it says Putin's inauguration on Tuesday for a fifth term will not only mark his 25-year long grip on power, but also showcase Russia's shift into what pro-Kremlin commentators call a revolutionary power set on upending the global order, making its own rules and demanding that totalitarian uh, uh, autocracy be respected as a legitimate alternative to democracy in a world redivided by big powers into spheres of influence.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what do we see here? We see Babylon the Great, America, NATO, EU, the beast system is being challenged, man. All right. Being prepared to get taken out the way.
Mm-hmm.
So we could continue with that priest.
You want to keep going to verse 5?
Yeah, we could read. We could keep reading down to 12.
Con. It says Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them, all of
Right. The
them which
Persians. The Persians. Speaking of the Iranians, just want to add that.
it says all of them with shield and helmet, Gomer and all his bands, the house of Togarmah of the north quarters and all his bands, and many people with thee.
Right. So the different alliances that are going to be with Russia.
Mm-hmm.
Right. We see Russia being what, as it's going to go into. It's the stronghold. Right, for all of these nations, man. All right.
Mm-hmm.
They're the leader. You know,
Yep.
challenge the beast. You can read
Be
it.
thou prepared and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them.
Right. Be
At
thou a guard unto them. Russia
yep,
protecting its allies, man.
yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Again, these nations are coming up under that banner, right, of Russia, because they see that Russia is the nation that's challenging the beast system, that's
Mm-hmm.
challenging America. You
It
keep reading.
says, after many days shalt thou, it's like it, and after many days thou shalt be visited. In the latter years thou shalt come into the land that is brought forth from the sword, and is gathered out of many people against the mountains of Israel, which have been always waste, and it is brought forth out of the nations, and they shall dwell safely, all of them.
Right. And I speak, excuse me, for the Israelites, man. Right. I'm going to read this in the NLT, Ezekiel
Mm-hmm.
38 and 8. It says, a long time from now, you will be called into action. In the distant future, you will swoop down on the land of Israel, which will be enjoying peace after recovering from war, and after its people have returned from many lands to the mountains of Israel. Okay. So, a what's tied to the destruction of our enemies, right, is our deliverance, man. All right. To
Mm-hmm.
dwell safely, to be returned back to our steed.
Right.
Mm-hmm. It
Okay, read it.
says, thou shalt ascend and come like a storm, thou shalt be like a cloud to cover the land, thou
Mhm.
and all thy bands, and many people with thee. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushua, it shall also come to pass that at the same time shall things come into thy mind, and thou shalt think an evil thought.
Right. Then that evil thought is the idea of shooting thermonuclear missiles upon Babylon the Great America, man.
Yep.
That's right.
Because like
That's
we
right.
mentioned, both sides know that nuclear war is a lose lose for the world.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, man, that thought is always being brought up because that's the Lord stirring up that spirit for them to itch to want to push that button. You know,
Yep.
that's why
So,
you hear Putin always talking about going to war with America. You hear North Korea, all right, Iran, these different countries constantly testing their nuclear missiles, man, because they know at some point they're going to use them on America.
exactly.
Exactly. Exactly. If I can read this real quick, just going into
Mm-hmm.
what you're saying, please. It's an article from Natural News that says Russia can still launch its entire nuclear arsenal even if all Russians are dead.
Mm.
It says, jumping to the point, Russia currently has the largest arsenal of tactical and strategic nuclear weapons in the world. All of these weapons are tied to a system known as the perimeter, also known as the dead hand, an automatic nuclear weapon control system that could launch the entirety of Russia's nuclear arsenal. So they pretty much it goes into how if they detect a missile launch from anywhere, then the entirety of Russia's nuclear arsenal is going up, man. Are they just gonna empty the whole clip, everything from all the subs, everything from land bases, all the whole thing is going up, man.
Right.
So it's not a like when they talk about mutually assured destruction, right? That's what they mean. They're saying, look, as soon as you let one, you might as well let them all go. Because we letting them all go.
Yep.
Hey, it's up.
Facts.
Verse 11. And thou shalt say, I will go up to the land of unwalled villages. I will go to them that are at rest, that dwell safely, all of them dwelling without walls and having neither bars nor gates.
Right. And that's speaking of America, man, that land
Mm-hmm.
of unwalled villages, right? Because America doesn't really have any borders,
Nope.
right? You have the Pacific Ocean, you have the Atlantic Ocean, you have the border up north between America and Canada, and then you have the southern border between Mexico and America, right? And there's no true separation in any of those parts to
Right.
where it's keeping people at bay, right? People
Hmm.
are just moseying in any type of way that they want to. So this place is easily accessible to visit and take over.
And it's already being done as we speak because when
Yep.
Biden opened
Exactly.
up the borders and allowed these migrants to come over here, we know a lot of those migrants are sleeper cells, UN troops, you know, and pretty much Russia and China already have dozens, millions of troops, hundreds, however, whatever number of troops over here, and all they're waiting is to be activated to begin, policing, the streets of America, man. So the
Hmm.
invasion's already been started. You know,
Right.
Russia,
Appreciate it,
they
bro.
they they've been doing this, man. You got it, bro.
Okay. Let's just land back in Jeremiah 49 and 31. It reads, Arise, get you up unto the wealthy nation that dwelleth without care, saith the Lord, which have neither gates nor bars, which dwell alone. Right? Because
Uh-huh.
on this Western hemisphere, America is pretty much on its own, man. Right?
Yep.
It says, Their camels shall be a booty, and their multitude of their cattle a spoil, and I will scatter into all winds them that are in the uttermost corners, and I will bring their calamity from all sides thereof, saith the Lord. So, like you said, priest, it said go up, like in the NLT, go up and attack that complacent nation, right?
Mm.
The people are complacent, right? They're not prepared for what's happening, and like you said, the sleeper cells are already intermingled among society. So
Yep.
once that switch gets flipped, it's the invasion is going to seem like it happened overnight, because they're already in place.
Mm-hmm.
Gone.
Back in Ezekiel 38:12, it says to take a spoil and to take a prey, to turn thy hand upon the desolate places that are now inhabited, and upon the people that are gathered out of the nations which have gotten cattle and goods that dwell in the midst of the land.
Right. And that's speaking of these proud Americans, man. Right. because these Americans thought that they were never going to have to face any type of war, right? As we see the spirit of mirth being rampant in the land of America, right? There's no sense of acknowledgement of what's really happening on a global stage. You have a small portion of Americans that acknowledge that what's going on is severe, but a lot of the people in America, Babylon, are completely in a state of mirth, right?
Right.
Completely ignorant of what's happening, right? So when these things come to pass, these proud Americans that thought America could never get touched, oh, nobody could ever invade America. Hey, we're going to see in that day what's the ending of you going to be, because we already got the writing right there.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That's pretty much all I had.
Oh yeah, I had nothing else.
God. Hey, well, Lord willing, you brothers and sisters were edified through the Holy Spirit. All right, we'll close out giving all praises, all honor, and all glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Yahweh. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that taught us the truth and rule well. Peace, blessings, and mercy to the house of David. Habayaf Dawadado for the elect. Unto you all we say shalom.
Shalom, shalom.
Shalom.